What is up, everyone? I am the Winner, and welcome to our game room. Today, we're going to take a look at the game that came in ranked 27th out of my top 123 games of all time. Today's game is one that is in the Eric Lang trilogy from CMON, and that game is Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Now, this has the great duo of Adrian Smith on art and Eric Lang as the designer of the game. And this is the newest of the trilogy that includes Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and now Ankh. And if you've noticed, Blood Rage and Rising Sun have not been on the list. I don't know if it's because they haven't been on the list yet, or they didn't make the list. I guess we'll find out. But in Ankh, Gods of Egypt, it's like an area control game where you're playing different scenarios, and as you play the game, territories are getting cut, because caravans are going through and cutting territories into two, so it changes the way that the area control works. You could have a bunch of guys all huddled in a corner. Somebody can come and cut the territory. Yeah, you control that territory, but now this territory is mine. And I only have one guy in it, but because of the way I cut it, it works out. The different scenarios offer different ways to play the game. Not everything's just control a territory. There's a bunch of different other ways to play. We got the Kickstarter version that came with all the extra stuff. There's a Pharaoh expansion that I just don't play without now. I even teach the game with it in. It just adds a bunch of cards that you can play and another board you play on that gives you another type of worshippers or priests or something that move around a temple, and they give you different abilities and stuff. I just don't play without that now. Now, the biggest thing with this game that a lot of people had trouble with is the merge mechanism. At some point in the game, when you're playing with more than 3 players, I think it's more than 3, it might be 3 also, but as long as you're playing with at least 3 players, I think at one point in the game, something gets triggered and a merge happens. So the merge is going to take whoever's in last place and whoever's in second to last place and merge them into one player. All the stuff that the lowest player has is going to go away from the board. So basically, they both are going to get 1 action instead of your normal 2, but they get to take the super action of, hey, look, both our player powers work together now, as opposed to just one, which is crazy. It can lead to some crazy, powerful stuff. Now, I know why people can kind of get thrown off by that type of play, because yes, it does. You can get into a situation where you're quarterbacking a player, because in my first play that I introduced this to someone else, my buddy and his wife and myself ended up being the lower on the point track, and we ended up combining together, and it was fine. We almost pulled out the win, but it felt a lot like I was kind of leading the charge, and that kind of sucks. But the last game I played again it was me versus 2 other players that were new, and I've played the game a bunch of times. And right before the split happened, they allowed me to do something which actually jumped me ahead of them. And then they joined forces and actually beat me. It was a really tight, and once you get into that, it's super thematic and super just strategic the way that all works. But I understand why people kind of hate on it a little bit. This one went up 13 points for me. This is, the more I play it, the more I enjoy it. This plays 2 to 5 players, which is a pretty good player count. And the time it takes all depends on the scenario you play. I could really enjoy this. I really want to keep playing it. Again, it's a little tough with the merge mechanics. Some people don't like it, some people do. So, but I really am just continue to try to get this to the table. And that's Ankh, Gods of Egypt, which was my number 27. So, come back tomorrow. We'll see what number 26 is in my top 123 game countdown of all time. So, as always, thanks for watching. Keep playing and keep winning.